Hello,
Jeffrey!
Sasha!
Hey, Jeffrey. Nice to see you again.
You know, our hello is becoming infectious for everybody.
They notice it too, right? Oh my God, thank you for coming to see us, right?
Here we are. This is number 6.
Number 6.
This is getting to be a bad habit.
It's gonna be. So today we want to talk about the corruption of our government.
Yes, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, Jeffrey, talk about the corruption in our government.
Well, basically, I think that Trump and his
Again, Trump.
well, and his collection of morons in the cabinet.
They're nice people, Jeffrey.
No, you're right. And his collection of geniuses in the cabinet are
better.
basically interested in only one thing, in my opinion.
And what's
How much can we steal from the average American citizen, the average corporation, and all the small owners in this country that we can keep for ourselves and give to rich people?
So it's about rich people, right?
It's about making rich people richer.
Okay, so like, how did we get here?
Well, we can thank, as far as I'm concerned, we can thank Citizens United. That's how we got here. How did Trump get elected? Citizens United. How did Trump get elected? The Supreme Court.
But listen, it's all our choice, like people's choice. Like we legally or democratically elect President Trump, and he's in power, he's in office, and he's executing our will.
No, I don't agree with that. He's executing his will, which had nothing to do with what he said he was going to do by electing him.
So what did he promise you or me what he will to do?
He promised, he said anything that would make you pull the lever in the voting booth.
Can you describe anything?
Oh, he said he's going to lower inflation, he's going to get rid of wars, he's going to make education better, he's going to improve the healthcare system, and he's managed to destroy every one of those things. And he doesn't care.
Because he cares. He cares a lot, and many
that.
people say that. So he also promised to restore law and order in our country, because our theme today is corruption of the government or in the government.
Well, he's been able to do that by hiring a whole army of mass people in unmarked vans who are arresting people all over the country without a warrant, without due process, and shipping them off to places where they can't be found. And even if they are found, they can't be returned.
So are they bad people or are they good people?
I think that I don't know what they are. These could be the few people from the 1500 people that attacked the cabinet that are that he pardoned. So who knows who they are? Nobody knows who these people are. They're even worse than the people that are working for Musk, because at least Musk, they know who the names of these people are. You may not be able to do anything about them, but apparently you can't trace the names. But the people who are arresting people off the street, nobody knows who they are. They're coming in without warrants. That's illegal. That's illegal. You can't just stop people on the street without a warrant. And every one of these people is being arrested, and the people, and whether they're guilty or not, the ones that are supposedly
they look guilty.
Yeah, but they're like this one woman who's a Fulbright student. Do you know what kind of level you have to be to Fulbright? Trump was never a Fulbright student. No, he claims he was first in his class. He had a C average his entire life.
No, he's the brightest. So basically, Trump promised us a lot, but maybe it's just 100 days in the office. Maybe he's got something in a closet or
not anymore. Now he's got something in the bank, billions of dollars that he just grafted out of people all over the world. The whole thing is a giant grift. Trump's presidency is a giant theft. That's what it is. It's a huge grift. Now, what did he do? He created
Coin.
this nonsense Trump coin, and then what did he do? Which it eventually started before at 70,000 and dropped to 12,000 or less, and now it's back up to 25,000. Why is it back up to 20?
Why is it?
Because he promised. He made a promise. Anybody, he's going to take the 250 biggest buyers of the Trump coin and give them free access, a free dinner at the White House or Mar-a-Lago.
So it's a plus.
It's grift. And so these people now own Trump.
They don't own.
They
Trump,
don't own Trump.
but
Or I should say Trump owns them.
Right, that's perfect. Plus, it's not 70,000. I think it's $70, and then it dropped like to $2, like $2.50.
Yeah, but now it's 25.
Okay, it doesn't. The point is this:
Since he mentioned that 250 of you are going to come to the White House, and the price went through the roof.
Let me just say that he uses his office as like a machine to do a bank, which is extremely bad, and doing the war, the tariffs war, and not resolving anything. He doesn't have a plan. He doesn't. There's no future that he tell us. Now, like before, we could trust him because he's a businessman. He's a successful businessman. But now people can see that he doesn't walk the talk.
First of all, successful businessman. Everything he's done in business was as phony as what he's doing.
Jeffrey, but image. Now I meant image because yes,
but they're making a huge thing again about this book. The art of the deal. It should be the art of the steal. Because the art of the deal, he did not write one word of that book. Not one word. It was written by Schwartz. And then a
Jewish man.
Yeah, and Schwartz had to make stuff up because the Trump couldn't tell him anything proper or good, So he made up the whole book. I am sure to this day that Trump has never even read the book, let alone written it.
I don't know. I think like people thinking that he knows how to do the deals, but I just want to show, but give you an example. Whenever you try to do a deal, you come to the table with the idea of your position. Otherwise, if you don't have a position, you cannot negotiate anything. If you don't have a position, if you don't have a plan, there's nothing we can discuss, nothing we can make you accountable for what you promise. He also promised that oil will be lower, like to $20, which is impossible because cost of our oil is $20.
Yeah, we went through that last week.
Yeah, so. I just want to go but the problem also, like, people chose Trump, and I think legally, willfully. Yes, they could be like fooled, but the problem is, in my opinion, that people got disgusted or got enough of this liberal stuff and this social democrats.
Yeah, well, but look at the other side. Are you better off today than you were 4 months ago?
Okay, so like, are you saying like, let's go down slowly, or we go down faster? Like, choose your poison.
It depends. Do you want to fix things, or you want to walk off a cliff and see what's at the bottom?
Okay, agree. So let's go by like illegal immigration. Like, are you saying that Democrats handle illegal immigration properly?
Yes, because the truth of the matter is that if you check the statistics, Biden deported more people than Trump has deported so far. But the people that Biden
so far,
there was not one case, one lawsuit against Biden deporting anybody improperly, because everything was done properly.
Okay, Jeffrey, listen. One thing, just deport people. The other thing is the solution. Did the Democrats offer any solution, on the illegal immigration.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
That's not true.
Okay, what's the
They
solution?
came up with a solution. They came up with a plan. It went through.
What's the plan?
Wait, it went through Congress.
What is the plan?
I'll try to answer.
Please.
So, and they submitted a plan for
Give me some idea
for
of the
immigration, and then Trump killed the plan. Both the Senate and the Congress was.
What was
for
the plan?
I can't remember the words exactly.
Yeah, so there was no plan.
No, that's not true. There was a plan, a major plan, and everybody agreed that this is a great step.
Okay, then.
But then Trump said, and they were voting for it, and then Trump killed the plan because he wanted that to remain a big problem for the United States until he becomes president.
Okay,
so he killed it.
Okay, gotcha. Killed it, but you don't remember like the details of the plan.
No.
So let's think about that. Before there was what is his name? The major like Republican president who is like the most successful Republican president.
Oh, Nixon.
No. That Hollywood star, like what is his name?
No, Schwarzenegger.
No. The president, like.
No, the Bush.
No.
Bush.
Okay. Who was the?
In
Hollywood? Reagan.
Reagan
It's just
was
like-
the most famous.
Okay, the guy, what he did, he just made illegal immigrants legal. Do you know that? He
No,
made.
that I know.
Oh, he didn't know. He just I don't my words like I'm limited, but he made illegal immigrants legal in like millions, couple of millions people.
I thought the only thing he did was give everybody a pot of jelly beans.
No. But again, since like there is no a president in the United States who under whom there was the solution for illegal immigrants, and the Democrats is offering to bring people in. They allow people coming in with the families free education, free healthcare, and it just dragging the hospitals down, economy down, even though they working on a lower level jobs, but they get benefits as illegal and citizens, and they just destroying.
Yeah, but they were getting benefits as legal residents.
But it
that's
doesn't.
not the same thing as saying illegal.
Can I just?
citizens.
I got it. I agree.
Yeah.
But the kids can attend a school, like any public school, which about $15,000 a year. Maybe now it's more. That's a cost for your taxes and my taxes for citizens.
Okay, but the people who were legal residents were also paying taxes, and they paid their
No,
taxes.
they're illegal, and they can, because they're residents. You don't have to be legal or illegal. You have to be in California, for example, 1 year as a resident. It doesn't matter. So they accept in the schools. Schools are getting budget from the government. How many people in the schools? You might not know that, but I'm telling you.
Okay,
So
let me
hold on. They're talking about the corruption in the government. That's your corruption, because they know that these kids, they don't speak English. And you have to carry them because other kids speak English. So, but you have to make so they attend school because they get money. The schools getting like employees of the schools getting money because how many people attended each day.
Let me ask you a question. And all these immigrants that were going to the schools, how were they doing in school?
Bad.
Really?
Yeah, because most of them, they don't speak English. Also, like for example, they do speak English. Like for example, my daughter, let's say, drives, like in the high school, she drives Honda Civic, for example. And the other kids, they cannot afford cell phone or like a good cell phone or Honda Civic or something. And they feel very badly where they stand compared to the other kids with parents like me, citizens with the good jobs or any jobs. So they feel deprived, or like not deprived, but bad, like as kids.
Okay. Even though it's possible this is true, I don't know enough.
It is
I
true.
don't know about that.
I'm telling you it is
but
true.
you're still talking about a minority amount of people compared to the rest of the country.
Okay, let me push on that.
But what I don't agree with is that all these, Trump keeps going on the airwaves for years now saying that everybody who's coming into the country is coming from insane asylums, they're coming from prisons, that's total bullshit.
Yeah, but I agree with this.
Yes, but Trump's whole theory of doing anything is if you say something enough times, you will believe
Let's forget for 1 second.
But that's how he thinks. If you say a lie enough times, people believe it.
Right, but
And
this
that's
is
what's
a
killing us.
position of Democrats. Because Democrats are concentrated on what Trump said or he didn't said. Who cares? Like if you go to the public school, especially South Central in Los Angeles, East Side like in Chicago, there are people like poverty. Like in South Central or like East LA, there are people like kids of illegal immigrants or low level of wages immigrants. It's very tough, like to be in those schools.
So what's the solution to that?
Solutions is to buy my book and read because I have a solution for illegal immigration.
We'll explain it then.
No, it's a long.
Yeah, but you could make a small synopsis
Okay,
of
the
how it
problem
can be
is
done.
this. It's not just because it has to be concurrently with the medical healthcare insurance, because the other part of illegal immigration that people get in like to the hospitals and they must attend people even though they have no insurance. It's human, it's good, but hospitals are overwhelmed with the people who don't pay their bills.
And so that's the reason why he's closing all the small hospitals around the country.
It-
That's the reason he's going against Medicaid. That's the reason he wants to go against
Again, you
Social
see-
Security. This is supposed to
Right,
improve everything.
Hold
Of
on,
course
hold
not.
on. So, like, read my book. There is each 6 page for each solution because I want to address what you're saying. You see, the problem with the Democrats, like for example, right now there is a fight on illegal immigration, right? So Trump attacks like illegal aliens, blah blah blah. Where's the Democrats? They should come back and say like, this is the solution. This is what you should do. And let's go through the Congress how to resolve the illegal immigration.
Right now, the Democrats basically have no power. And they have no idea yet how to get any power back until for 18 months until the next election. All they can do is try to hope they can stay alive, that they can keep everybody in some sort of business, so that when it comes to 18 months from now, at least they can get control of the House. They need to get control of the House, or this country is doomed.
So
But then
okay,
they get control of the Senate.
Because this is a good point. This is the point of any Democrat. You have to get to the power, and then you will decide what to do. Right now, you cannot do an opposition. You cannot do the plan. Who is holding the Democrats to present their plan, the vision?
They're starting to do it, and not only that, they're getting the population. We're having huge demonstrations.
About what? Protesting Trump.
Yeah, no, protesting the economy, protesting immigration, protesting almost anything he's doing.
Jeffrey, let me
there's a
push back.
protest.
Let me push back. Protesting of somebody doing something, it's not doing anything. It's just like putting brakes on somebody. I agree Trump is incompetent. I agree that Trump does bad things. But you have to present a plan what should be done.
The only plan that can be attempted right now is to get the Justice Department. The only thing that can stop Trump, that can stop these MAGA morons in Congress and MAGA morons in the Senate, the only thing that can stop them, first, are the protests, and second, to show the American people who's actually causing all these problems. It's not the Democrats causing the problems. It's the ineptitude of Congress, and especially ineptitude of the Senate.
Okay, let me push back this. So we talked about illegal immigration. So you think that Trump caused the illegal immigration, and Democrats have nothing to do with it?
Illegal immigration is so much better now, partly because of Trump. No, partly because of Trump, because everybody's scared to
Okay,
death.
so
But look at the results. Fine. There's much less people trying to get into the country. I think there's more people who are trying to get out of the country.
Okay,
now, what's
so
the
thank
result
you.
of that?
Yeah. So thank you, Donald Trump, for making some solutions for us.
So basically, creating a new class of people. The problem is that instead of he's now threatening Americans. He's threatening the legal system. And that is serious because if we lose at the Supreme Court, like right now, there's a 9-0 decision against Trump, and he still ignores it. If Trump can get away of ignoring the Justice Department, then this country could be doomed.
Could be, but again, so illegal immigration, Trump did something. Even if it's bad, he did something. Democrats didn't do nothing on the illegal immigration. There is no policies. Sending people home, it's not a policy. Let's do this. Student loans, like $1.3 trillion of student debts. Who created this shit? That people who shouldn't have debt shouldn't be allowed to receive any loans when they don't understand what loan is. They
problem there,
Okay.
Let's say I'm a student. I'm a good student. I have a 3.4 grade point average. All right.
I will give you free education. Thank you,
with
Jeff.
a 3.4 grade point average, it's not quite enough to get scholarships. I mean, when I went to universities, I had full scholarships to every place I applied. Full. I didn't have to pay a dime for my college education. No. Well, I'll tell you what happened.
Please don't. Just let's stick.
I was a terrific fiddle player. Every place I auditioned, they gave me a full scholarship.
So that's you see, that's a great point, because you're somebody that should be awarded with something. I am opposite. I am complete idiot. Why should you or American people pay for my tries to go to one college? Let's say I want to be a violinist like you yourself, but I'm not good at this. I cannot hear anything. So why somebody pays for me to go to the college, and then I realize I better play on a computer than on a violin.
Yes, but there was a time when, in order to go to a university, when universities were even much more affordable today, the only way you could go was to get a student loan. But the student loan system was a business, was a government business, and they were making huge profits on it.
Government?
Yeah.
How?
By giving the loans. They get paid interest for these loans.
Governments doesn't give the loans. Government is authorizing the programs, and government becoming a
but where's the money coming from?
Money coming from the banks. Banks are loaning the government backing up the loans. So the point is this, and you brought a good point. So I don't have the money, and I want to try to be a violinist, which I have nothing to do with. But why not? I go to the college and I say, listen, here's my social security. Give me the loan. They give me the loan based on backed by the federal government. So I have no chance to get out of this loan. So I'm studying. I'm got more money for my room and boarding and everything else. And after 1-2 years, getting money as a loan, let's say 20, 50,000, I'm realizing I'm not good at it. And I'm just giving you a radical example. What if I'm somewhat good, but it doesn't work? I change my mind. I'm 55 years old or 100 years old, and I'm still student. How many times can I get the loan? Every time I'm getting the loan,
but on the other hand, somebody has to approve those loans.
And they are approved because the government is backing up every loan. So this is your answer. You just said to the guys, you said like it used to be affordable. And this is hold on, please. It used to be affordable education. But when the government gave you money, so you can apply,
okay.
so
Yeah,
so
but
like
wait a second.
everybody is applying,
Okay.
and the price of the education goes up.
So that's why, like, people like Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders want people to be able to have a free education. I mean, but maybe
Who's gonna pay for education?
maybe not at Princeton, maybe not at Yale, but there is enough colleges and enough other things that they can do. You know, the education system is a mess.
No,
and
it's
now
not,
it's a bigger mess because he's just closed it.
It just became a mess when the government got involved with the free money to you to try. And let me just give you a distinguish the difference between education that the government has to help and doesn't have anything has nothing to do with this. If you're a child, government like education from like K-10 education, government should subsidize because a child has no way to understand what he or she is doing. We need help children to get up to the level of a high school education. But when you grow up, it's up to you to know what you want to do and be responsible for yourself.
And now the solution of the government just this past week is that what they want to do is they want to give people maybe $5,000 to have babies. To have babies, but once the babies are born, you're on your own, and because then the government is canceling every program that helps these babies grow up, that the families that have them, to do anything about them. Plus, they're canceling all the medical help. So let's say you're going to have a miscarriage or something like that because of what they're doing to the medical profession. You better hope that you can have the miscarriage on the street in front of the hospital because you're not going to be allowed inside.
I agree with you, but I agree with you completely. And we're talking about the corruption in the government, idiocracy in the government. So basically, I just
like that word.
Yeah, because people are nuts. And they just want you like to do wherever it is for some fanatic ideas. So first they destroy the education because now students have all loans. They don't know what to do because they didn't realize. I have so many clients like young ladies and gentlemen. They come to me and they were like, oh my God, like I have to pay this loan. I didn't realize that it's harmful because 3-4 years they don't have to pay that loan back, and then its interest is growing, and then you just for 4 years in college you owe $200,000-$300,000 where that the education that they received doesn't allow you to earn that money to pay back. Not dentistry, not like a psychologist, some simple level education, and it's in my book too. So let me just go also. The same thing happened with the loan to buy the house. Mortgages. So with the mortgages happened the same thing. The Democrats in the Congress during Bush. And Bush doesn't know like what hit him, like the guy flips in it.
Now we're talking about 2008, is that correct?
Yeah, but we're talking about how did we get here with Trump, because people are frustrated because they cannot afford their house, and they shouldn't be afforded. Everything come like increase in value.
But tell me if I'm wrong. So much of 2008 was the process of phony accounting. Here's how it worked. So in other words, you go in. Let's say you're the bank. So I deposit $500 into the bank,
Okay.
The bank then loans $500 to you.
Okay.
And what do they put in their books? They say, we now have $1,000. I got $500 from him, and $500 we lent to you, and now I have $1,000. It's nonsense.
Right. This is how the Democrats spin this whole shit. So let me just tell you what exactly happened. The Democrats said that each American deserved to have a house. This is a right to have a house. This is like you, if you're just a citizen of the United States, you have a right to have a house. People say like, wow, that's like right.
I always thought it just meant you have a right to want the house.
No, not want like you. People just flip. They like, is it for real? And they yes, and they backed them like what they said. Like now we will have introductory 1%. You remember that time? 1% introductory. So you have a social. The same with as student loans. You have introductory 1%. You get in to buy a house. So what happens? People with 1% they could afford millions of real estate. So people who owned like maybe like a not cell phone but something like limited, now they could afford the house. and then like that whole thing just went down because people couldn't afford to keep it.
Yeah, because banks were giving loans to anyone who could fill out the application.
Right.
Didn't matter if anything in the application was true.
Ask me why they were able to do that. Ask me.
They get commissions for selling the house.
That's true. But the problem was that the government allowed those programs. And those programs, banks don't have the money. They loan the money from the government. They buy bond, treasury bills, and stuff like that. So they don't, like if you have an applicant and the government says like, okay, listen, you just get the loan from this idiot. He's just there.
Okay. Okay. Now, not to interrupt, but all of this is clear. But we're talking about years ago. What we really need to be talking about today, the whole thing was about corruption. So how can we describe the corruption that's taking place while we are both sitting here, while you're both sitting in your seat watching this video? Here's the problem. Is that people in government are finding all kinds of ways. We have something in government called the emoluments clause, which normally Trump has to adhere. This is a law. You can't. You're not. Trump was supposed to put all of his assets into blind trust, which has been done by every president. Until Trump, and not only did he not do it. But
he's making money sitting in office.
He's making money hand over fist, and then he says, "Oh, look, I'm donating my salary. My salary, I believe the president's salary is $475,000. He spends 4 times that every week to go to Mar-a-Lago to play golf."
Yeah, but listen. So the problem is this: we got here with Trump, who is like complete incompetent and a very bad president. In my opinion, but we got here because people cannot afford anymore the housing. They cannot go like to school because free loans. People who try and they take in the places. It's all disarray. This is not the America that you chose. And lower interest. Now Trump wants also low interest. It's not I'm advocated for Trump. I'm saying that corruption from both sides, and there is no idea of the government how to come back to the like normality of our country.
Well, the normality that we need, that the government needs, that we all need, is something called a balanced budget.
Yes,
a balanced budget, and most of Congress, as we spoke about everything about grift in Congress, with congressmen trying to, at the end of bills, we spoke about not having the the government clause, or you can eliminate just pieces of a bill, as long as you have to vote on the whole bill, that just before the bill is supposed to be passed, that congressman can, it's all grift. It's all grift. Now you think, now fine, Trump's an incompetent president. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't care about how many people get hurt in the country, as long as the rich people do well. But he does care. He's a master of grift, a huge master of grift. And he, even from the book, the book that supposedly describes him as a great businessman. How does a great businessman go bankrupt 6 times? How can you lose money with a casino? A casino is,
right.
It's just not possible.
Let's come back. The point, you see, like, whenever I'm talking about in general that government goes like completely banana on the policies. The government doesn't have, from both sides, doesn't have any vision on what these guys are doing. We're coming back about Trump. And I'm just like, and the reason, and you just like say, like, do you agree or not? The Democrats have no plan. They don't, like, the plan what they have is just complete stupidity. Like, listening on Harris. Even I voted for Harris, not because she is a great president or could be, but because I knew that Trump will could be destroying the country, and he's destroying the country. But Harris, what did she offer? $25,000 for first-time buyers, another inflationary stuff, or $50,000. This is all like, here's like a bone to you, like here's the free stuff, and who's gonna pay? Rich and powerful and corporations. Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense. It wasn't a particularly good idea, but still, no matter how you look at it, 1,000 times better than what we got.
Yeah, but that's why like people try to trust a guy who they thought he has solutions.
He had a great idea. He finally figured out a way to stop the money crisis.
Yeah, but
here's what he did. Instead of just printing money, which is what the Democrats did, sadly, with lots of help from the Republicans, instead of just printing money, Trump came up with a much better idea. I'll print a kind of money that has my picture on it,
coins.
And you will buy it.
Yeah,
and it will go into my pocket, not into the government.
Jeffrey, but the point is that government today, there's not a person who offers any solutions, who brings like body together, not based on because it's blue or red, right or left, but because of some solutions. If you're talking about illegal immigration, if you disagree with Trump, say what's your solution. Bring the ideas. You want to talk about rates, like today we cannot lower rates. The rates, like if you lower rates, it goes banana. It's crazy.
Yeah, we killed the dollar.
You killed. It's just it's supposed to be a totally separate video. But
yeah.
My point is this: that today nobody offers anything. But
let me help with what you want to say.
Please.
Don't forget this. This whole thing started with Sasha's book called The Purple Vision. And what is the basic idea of the Purple Vision? It's basically, you do not go left, you do not go right, you find the best possible solution straight down the middle. Is that correct?
Yeah, you just have to compromise, because in a compromise, you thinking about both sides. You kind of like hearing other sides, because we live in America. That rhetoric that the Democrats are not Americans and Republicans are stupid. This is a bad idea, or some rich people, and we're supposed to hate those rich people. This is not, and that's why, like, please, if you want to help to our country, read my book. not because I want to make money, which I want.
Okay, but I would just change one word in that
Please.
explanation. You said the Republicans are stupid. They're not stupid. What they are, and it's been proven from this past election, they are gullible. They'll believe anything that's told to them by when the correct people are controlling your train of thought. And when you had my problem with the Republicans, why do you think the Republicans are not trying to solve things? They can solve so much. They can solve immigration. They can solve the whole tariff problem if they would just do their job. Their job, they're supposed to be the only people that can actually create a tariff and enforce a tariff. That should not be possible through stupid, insane, dumb executive offers, executive orders by a moron in the White House.
Okay, so like start from just reading my book, because I think this is a basic for like understanding what America actually is, and then there are solutions. So please, because I don't see like anybody today understanding what is going on, and we thank you for watching us.
Yeah, please, it's very important. Send this out to many people.
Thank you.
They'll get a good laugh if nothing else. Sadly, these things are usually about 40 minutes long, which is about 40 minutes too much. But we have a lot to say. We have a lot to think about. And everybody has to think about the subjects that we're talking about. If you have ideas that you think we should be discussing,
please comment.
Please, send emails or send texts or
comment.
We need your comments,
Yeah.
and also we need your likes. We need to get this out to as many people as possible. There's a lot of people that are trying to do their best to tell the truth. People like like Bill Maher, various people, even some Republicans, even crazy people like Mitch McConnell are starting to fall into line on the right side of the tracks. We need to give them lots of reasons to do what's necessary for government.
That's right. Thank you so much.